Hi everyone, welcome to Hardstuck Heroes, the newest streamable Valorant talk show from the bottom of the leaderboard. Get all the latest information about patch notes, nerfing, and agent releases, and tournaments from a couple of gamers you might actually queue up with. My name is Amusey and I'm a full-time Twitch affiliate streamer struggling to stay in Silver 1.
And my name is Warlord Peanut, but my friends call me Peanut. I'm a competitive Brawl Stars player with a tendency to play Demon Hours Valorant, and my favorite in-game strat is holding defaults. In this episode, we will talk about upcoming Valorant Masters tournament and our predictions for the event. We will spare no detail in regards to our opinions and our highly researched, educated guesses regarding the outcome in Iceland.
We know that you had several options you could have picked from to listen to, but since you decided to land on our show, you're our heroes. Thank you, and if you enjoyed the show, don't forget to follow and leave a review. Okay, let's get started. All right, everybody, welcome to the third episode of Hardstuck Heroes. Today we are talking about Iceland.
Iceland,
and, the teams that are going and what we think is going to happen and everything Iceland related.
Yeah, like how big the mountains are.
Yeah, it's real big and it's cold.
How cold is ice? And hopefully Dapper won't complain about the room service anymore. Oh,
wait a minute.
Can we get a little cheering for that? Little clap, little clap.
Number 16 or number 6 team in an A.
Woohoo! Thank you, VLR. We love that. Hardstuck Heroes rooting for the downfall of Sentinels since day one.
It's gonna be such a peaceful. Tournament.
I mean, yeah, I hope so. Because from what we've seen, well, we've got the two NA teams that are going. Neither of them are what you would describe as toxic. Optic is one of those very cold, calculated teams, and Guard is just like riding the craziest high right now. So
the best team ever.
Yeah, they don't need to talk shit. I'm excited for the most wholesome tournament of all time, basically.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess we can get right into it. Yeah.
Okay, so looking at Group A and Group B.
Well, before we even get into that, we got to talk about the fact that the top four. Before we even get into the groups, we got 4 teams that are starting without even being. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get my words together. Pause. We've got 4 teams. The top 4 teams from each of the main regions are skipping the group stage, and they're going straight into the double elim bracket. Looks like we've got So we've got G2 from EMEA, who is replacing FPX, who unfortunately was not able to play due to other issues outside of their control. The Guard from NA, which we are very excited about. We've got some cheering on the other side of the mic for them.
Woo!
We've got PaperX from APAC, so they've been around a little bit, so that'll be good. And then we've got Loud, which is a bunch of players that we've seen before. I can't remember all the teams that they've been on in Brazil, but I know I've seen Sasi and Sadhak before, and they will be good mainstays as well. But we won't see them until the double elim bracket starting. What is that? Starting in the middle of the week, starting on the 14th or so. But what we are talking about today, and what Amusey was very excited to talk about, is our 2 groups. So yeah, Group A. What are we looking at in Group A? This is before that double elim bracket.
Okay, so the first thing we have is Fnatic versus Ninjas in Pajamas. I watched Fnatic and Challengers a little bit here and there, and they did really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ninjas, I did not watch, but I remember seeing them last year. It's a good team. What do you think we'll see?
Well, okay, so we got the teams are looking a little wacky right now. Fnatic is, like you said, a very good team, very tried and true team. The issue is looks like they're not going to be playing or they're playing with a little over 50% of their actual roster. Boaster, Mystic, and Magnum are all coming, but their 5th, hold on, let me make sure of this before I drop all these names out. Yeah. So Brave Af is one of their main players. He's Russian, so unfortunately he was also unable to come due to similar reasons that FPX is only able to come. So that's one player down for Fnatic. Then Durka, who I think is their duelist, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Durka is their insane duelist, has COVID, and also will not be coming. So they're playing with 2 stand-ins. One Fearoth from Alliance, who is tried and true, very good. The other I'm seeing on VLR is Hyber, H1 Burr. I've never heard of him before, so I'm nervous for Fnatic. I love that team. I love Boaster, and I've loved them for a long time. But they're playing with 2 stand-ins. One stand-in is a huge deficit. 2 stand-ins is unfortunate. Let's just put it there and hope for the best. On the other side, Ninjas of Pajamas, the team you saw last year is not the same team you're seeing this year. The team you saw last year was a European team. Ninjas of Pajamas transferred to Brazil at the start of this year, and it's a brand new team. Like you said, I know nothing about him. Never watched anything. I'd love to see him do well. I'm very scared for Fnatic. I'm so scared, dude.
It's going to be interesting to see either way because of the 2 stand-ins. Also, apparently, since Ninjas in Pajamas decided to move to Brazil, it's also going to be interesting seeing what's going to happen because of that. I'm putting my money on Fnatic, though.
I'm gonna hope in Fnatic. I truly this game feels like almost a toss up because it feels like a brand new team with a couple tried and true players versus a dark horse in Ninja's Pajamas. So I it feels like a 50-50 to me. I could go either way.
Our second matchup is DRX versus Zeta.
Yeah. You know the history here?
I know nothing about, so
Yeah.
I cannot give an educated guess as to what's going to happen.
Oh, I got you on this. Here we go. DRX is the old Vision Strikers team. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I think all of let's see, Vision or DRX right now is Stacks, RB, Zest, Buzz, and Mako. I know, and King is inactive. Buzz, Mako, King, Stacks, and RB. I'm pretty sure were the old Vision Strikers. I'm not sure if Zest was in there as well, but yeah, this is old. This used to be Vision Strikers. Zeta Division is the Japanese team, or the Japanese, the Japanese team who has made it to Masters here. Again, don't know much about them. They used to. I'm looking at VLR now. They used to be Absolute Jupiter, who, I'm not seeing. Doesn't look like they did a whole ton as Absolute Jupiter. But so kind of a new team coming out of Japan. Good to see. Means that we're not going to see Crazy Raccoon, unfortunately. Another. I mean, I would put this on DRX because Vision Strikers is Vision Strikers is Vision Strikers.
There've been a lot of name changes this year.
Yeah, it seems like it's happening. NA definitely has its tried and set orgs, and so does EU. I mean, so does Korea for that matter. But some of the new ones tend to switch it around, and eventually we'll find our mainstays. But right now, teams are switching and moving and shaking.
Next game, it's Optic versus Xerxia. I watched a lot of Optic play because they were playing against the Guard.
Yeah.
Optic is really, really good.
They are.
Optic is
and they have just the absolute demon yay. It's scary.
Yeah. I was trying to remember his name. When you put an op in Ye's hands, it's a very frightening thing because he's not one of the oppers who needs to hold a certain angle. He can use it any way he wants to. Just turn around, use it as shotgun. He'll hold close angles, far angles. He can do anything with the op. He's amazing. I wish I was like him. I don't really know anything about Xerxia either. I don't know if you do.
Yeah.
But for me, just because of what I know, I'm gonna say Optic because I've seen them perform and I think they're great.
I think you have a solid pick there. Optic is probably one of the best teams in the world. Consistently, has been a mainstay second place team in NA and basically the world for a long time, much longer than the Sentinels era. They've just been super solid for a while. If XSET is the fourth place team of all of NA, then Optic is the fourth place team of the entire world. As for Xerxia, we have got another name change, but this isn't really a name change. This is actually just a complete drop. Xerxia is the old X10 roster from last Masters. X10, I'm not really sure what happened then, but they X10 finished 5th to 8th in Champions, and then their roster was then picked up by Xerxia. So they have made it back. Good to see them doing well. Again, I kind of lean towards what you're saying. Optic seems to be the way to go here. I'd love to see Xerxia do well. I'd love to see these small rosters do well, but it's hard when you come up against a powerhouse like Optic. Now, our last game, though, I don't know who's a powerhouse here, and you've got all sorts of thoughts on this game, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, last year I was big on the Croupium.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Unbelievably big. Too big, some might say.
I mean, I took a guess in my pick'em last year, and I put them through. It was a gamble, and I believed in it, and then I watched them, and I started following them, and then I really started believing in them. They made it really, really far. It was huge, and I loved it. They're playing against Liquid. Liquid is a really good team. I can't not acknowledge Liquid. I'm obviously gonna go Crew though because I have to. But it could go either way. These are two really good teams, and I've seen both of them play. I didn't watch as much Crew. I watched like a map on one of their games, and they look good. But again, a lot of things change when you go from your region to the whole world.
Yeah, very much
So excited to see what happens, but I'm putting Crew through.
Yeah, on this one, I don't know if you knew this about me, but I'm a big Liquid fan. I'm a big Scream boy. And Scream now has the brother buff, has for a long time. And on top of that, Liquid is not even supposed to be here. They are fighting with the strength and the fervor of FPX behind them. FPX left so that Liquid could be here. It's not exactly like that, but that's how it's turning out.
Yeah.
And I am in, Viva Ukraine and Viva Liquid, I guess, is what I'm saying.
I am actually really impressed. Really quick, I am impressed by the way Liquid handled it when they got put through instead of FPX due to um, complications.
Yeah.
Just the way they handled it, I was very impressed with. But
Yeah.
anyway,
And the way they handled it, and also the way Riot has handled it. I mean, it's unfortunate that they had to do that, but the truly only fair way to do this in a completely already unfair situation for FPX was Riot is going to give FPX the amount of points they would get if they came in 8th place, which because they were in first place in their region, they would have been put through where G2 is right now. And so the only place the lowest they could have gotten is 8th place. So that's what the amount of points they've been given. I think I heard on Plat Chat people were discussing that what if Liquid, the team that got in instead of FPX, however many points they got, FPX got.
Liquid
I
plays for
mean,
FPX.
yeah, Liquid plays for FPX, or you could say that G2 plays for FPX because G2 is now the top team. And there's all those discussions. I think the way Riot handled it is the only fair way because like I said, in an completely unfair situation affected by outside circumstances, the team couldn't be there. So what are they given? I think that's the best they could have done, and hopefully FPX comes back even stronger soon. But it is great to see that we have, like you said, the Liquid being extremely humble and Riot handling it as well as they could.
Yeah, for sure.
As well
For
as
sure.
they could.
Moving on to the qualifier stuff, starting with Fnatic and DRX.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it kind of looks like I would lean toward Fnatic and DRX coming out of Group A. It really depends on how Fnatic plays. If Fnatic is as good as they were without these stand-ins with their normal roster, it's no question it's Fnatic. But with this different roster, it makes me worry a little bit. It leaves room for these other teams. DRX on the same way. They're consistent as hell. I would expect to see them. So I would say it really depends. I would see DRX winning theirs and then winning winners, and then the other 3 teams just got to fight it out. Hopefully, in my body, I hope for Fnatic and Boaster, but my brain says don't get too high.
Yeah, with all the roster changes, it's kind of hard to predict, especially when you don't know.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole team dynamic, and then one gets taken out. Like you said this earlier, but one gets taken out, and it throws everything into a frenzy. But they lost two. So,
Right. Huge. Two is, I mean, two players on a football team is huge, and that's not even 10% of your team. Two players here is 40% of your team. That's massive. It's massive. So yeah, I couldn't tell you the exact matches I'm picking, but I am going with my gut and saying DRX goes 2 wins in, and then Fnatic fights it out in the bottom. I have hope for that, but I don't have a ton of faith. If you catch my
yeah,
drift.
yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I still think Fnatic is going to pull out just because I know Fnatic, and this is what this is what my guess is based off of what I know, regardless of the fact that they have two new people. There's still three of them uh, that are on
Yeah.
that have been working together. So I'm picking Fnatic based off of the Fnatic that I know. And then at the very end on the bottom, I think Ninjas and Pajamas is going to pull through
Okay.
the second qualifier in Group A.
All right. Over DRX.
Yeah, again, I know I know Ninjas in Pajamas more or less. I've seen him play. I've seen Vision, or I guess what is now DRX
Yep.
play. But if I remember correctly, I think Ninjas in Pajamas did better than I thought they would last time around. They
Okay.
were in
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah, I'd
I
say so.
remember them being in it.
In which one? You
Last,
think they were in a Masters maybe, but again, it's been a while, and again, it's not the
yeah.
same team.
But still, with all these roster changes, I'm gonna just go with Ninjas in Pajamas and Fnatic for Group A.
All right.
Moving on to Group B. This is where it gets a little interesting.
Yeah, so with this one, I would say this, like, if Group A is a free for all underneath, you know, well, it depends on who you're looking at, but a lot of people would look at it as a free for all underneath some DRX stuff. Group B is kind of a group of death if you're Xerxia, right? You've got
Yeah.
Optic, who again, like top 4 team in the world. You've got Liquid, who has had a rough recent time, but is still like at a time one of the best teams in the world. And you've got Crew, who with the other two teams is a champions qualifying team.
Yeah.
Then again, so is Xerxia in its past. X10. I mean, this is just a plain and simple group of death. Nobody. I feel like we've got a lot of ways this could go. You and I are both going opposite ways on Crew versus Liquid. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
But going past that, like, give me your take on Optic Xerxia, honestly.
Okay. So, well, first off, I said Optic and Optic is going to beat Xerxia.
Okay, straight up. Yeah.
I said in the first round, Crew is going to beat Liquid.
Mm-hmm.
So then the two playing gets for the qualifiers, Optic and Crew. I think Optic is going to win that game.
Optic Crew.
Optic Crew. I think Optic is going to win. Optic was the first team to qualify for Iceland in North America, and they did an amazing job in doing it. So I think Optic is a really good team, and I think they're gonna take Crew. Then in the decider between Xerxia and Liquid, I think Liquid is gonna beat Xerxia, and then it's gonna be Crew versus Liquid
Crew versus Liquid. What do you
in
mean?
the decider.
Oh, okay, copy. Yeah.
And then this is where it gets juicy because I think Crew is gonna beat Liquid. And here's why. Here's the main reason why. Liquid needs to change some things.
What things?
They're
What
they're
things?
you know, they're a good team. I fully give them all of that. But last time I watched them play against FPX,
Mhm.
it didn't look like I don't know. I don't know if they just didn't have their heart in it. I don't know what the problem was. It just didn't look like they were playing at full capacity. That's just me. But if that transfers over to Iceland, I think it's going to be more or less a bit of a downfall. And I think Crew's going to go. I think Crew's going to beat him.
Nope.
See, but you said that last year too.
I don't care. I know. I said it last year. I will always have faith in Screaming Nevada. That's it. Just know. I feel your belief in Crew. I truly do. I love it, and it's my faith. It's my faith in 100 Thieves that I compare it to. Um, which you know shouldn't be taken nicely.
Okay, but like, who was FPX before what happened this year?
FPX has been around a long time, dude. FPX has been around a long time.
Right?
And they've been good for a long time. So they've been hovering for a long time. Like again, they're not like an optic. They're like more like an X set. They're an X set that's just been at the bottom. They had some really good performances, unlike X set. They like kind of flamed up and then flamed out. They're a fiery team, if you can't tell. FPX, Fun
Yeah.
plus Phoenix.
I don't know, because yeah, they were down there, and then they beat Liquid, who's been a powerhouse in EU
Mm-hmm.
for a while.
Yeah.
And then whatever FPX did this year, yeah, Liquid went 0-2 against FPX. Anyway, moving on. What we take away from this is that Crew's going to be Liquid.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you say, bud. I'm glad we're getting this on recording, my friend.
Okay. And I will play it back for you when they do.
Yeah. My favorite is they'll win the first time, but they'll lose the second time. Yeah. Okay.
No, they'll win both times.
They're gonna win both times. Actually, that's even funnier.
It's not funny. I have
It's
so
pretty
much faith.
funny. You know what? Just for that, Crew is losing both games in my opinion.
Oh!
Crew is going down in 2. Quietly and without a peep, my friend. Brazil, I love you as a nation. Crew, this is not about you. It's not personal towards you. It's personal towards my co-host. Anyway, looking at that, we feel pretty confident about our teams. I think we like Fnatic, and we looks like Optic qualifying. Then they've got to come in and face Guard and G2 and PaperX and Loud. I hope, honestly, let's go PaperX. We have 2 teams that look very similar. Their logos look very similar. G2 and the Guard look very similar. It's kind of flipped upside down. You Guard and you get G2. G2, I never thought I'd say this, but is looking insane right now.
Yeah, G2 has been popping off.
Like, holy shit, looking so clean. Other than playing against FPX, was looking just pristine against. They played Mac, they played Liquid, and they played Fnatic, and just demolished everybody. Looking, like I said, I never thought I'd say this, but G2 is looking so clean. Guard, same thing, looking impeccable right now, looking so good.
Number 1 in North America.
Number 1 in North America by far. Like their first attempt at challengers, and they fucking destroy. Love to see it. PaperX and Loud, really solid teams. PaperX is a team that we've seen for a while, and Loud is a team of players that we've seen. We've seen Saucy used to be on. Saucy was on Vikings last year, so he was around for a while. Sadhawk was on Vikings last year. He's been around for a while.
I did watch a little bit of a game Loud was playing. I don't have enough to make a detailed go around about it, but I will say Loud does look good. From what I watched, they look good.
I heard one of the guys from Platchat scream Pancata one time, so I think they think that guy on Loud is pretty cracked. The rest of these guys though are pretty much like they were playing with Pancata. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's 2 guys from Net Vikings. It's Sadhawk and Saucy from Vikings, and then 3 guys, Pancata and his 2 friends. And that's who makes up Loud. And they are currently 14-0, apparently. Have they not lost a game? According to VLR, they have not lost a game.
Oh my god.
And according to VLR, and it looks like within the VCT, they have currently not lost a game. Yeah, not lost a game, and I'm looking at it, have only lost 2 maps? Question mark? Yeah. Oh my god. And have absolutely 3-0 destroyed Ninjas. Okay, maybe we should be worried about Loud here. Loud 13-11, 13-6, 13-4 on Nip. I think we should be worried about Loud, my friend.
Yeah, that's hard to argue with.
Whoa. Yeah,
Haven't
they
lost a match in VCT.
haven't lost a match in VCT. Have only lost 2 maps. There are 2 maps that they lost. They lost Icebox and they lost Fracture once, and that's it.
They're gonna be a team to watch out for.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of tape on them. There's really not a lot of tape on them. So interesting. They've beaten teams that we recognize from last year. They beat Keat Stars. They beat Vikings. Yeah, I'm scared of Loud. Let's be honest. And they knocked out MW Zera and the old the Keat Stars roster that we saw last year.
Vikings isn't in it. I just don't realize.
Vikings and Keat Stars are out, and now it's Nip and Loud.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay, is right.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I think one of my favorite things about this year is a lot of really big teams are out. Gambit's not here. Sentinels isn't here. Liquid almost wasn't here.
Yeah, really.
There have been so many teams that aren't necessarily small teams, but teams that have come out from underneath and like taken these top spots, and I'm really excited to see.
Yeah, should be sick.
Guard all the way and crew shortly behind. That's my whole take.
And yeah, I'm trying to think of what else we got, but I mean, I think that kind of wraps up where we're at in VCTs right now.
Yeah, that pretty much covers everything. God, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I've been looking forward to this ever since last year ended. But yeah, I think that's all.
yeah. Thank you everybody for listening. And as we always say at the end of the podcast, duelist is spelled DUELIST.
You said that at the end of every podcast?
Yeah, we do. And some of us still struggle to remember how to spell it.
Yeah. Fuck.
Good night, everybody.
Be sure to check out the podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts and YouTube. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Amusey, and you can find Peanut at
Twitch.tv/Amusey.
Yep, he's the mod. And that's gonna be all, everybody. Good luck, have fun.
See ya.